Greetings, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of In the Balance. I'm Corinne McKay, and I'm here to help you with our goals of fulfillment right now and no regrets, or as few regrets as possible in the future. Thanks for all of your great comments on episode 4, dealing with low moments. And if you have any topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, just leave a comment on this video. This week, we're going to be talking about applying lessons from your non-work life to your work so that you can bring in some problem-solving skills from the things you like to do when you're not working. So my main non-work interests are outdoor sports like bicycling, skiing, hiking, music. I played piano as a kid and started playing the lute about 2 years ago, and general health and nutrition topics. So I'm going to give you some ideas from each of those areas. And then as usual, you can submit your own ideas in the comments. So here we go. Tip 1, crowd your bad habits out with good habits instead of trying to squelch the bad habits. This one is from a podcast I love called Nutrition Diva, which is in the Quick and Dirty Tips podcast family. So Nutrition Diva's tip is, for example, if you're trying to eat healthier, don't just think about it negatively, like I have to stop drinking soda, I can't have dessert, no more candy bars from the office vending machine. But instead, think of replacement habits that are healthier. So for example, you might say, I'm going to try to eat 3 pieces of fruit before lunch, or I'm going to try to drink 6 cups of herbal tea every day. So for me, one of my bad work habits is I get distracted by mindlessly entertaining websites, like celebrity gossip websites, which is kind of funny because we don't have TV. So I really have no clue who the celebrities are. But instead of just saying no more celebrity gossip websites, I've retrained myself that when I feel like taking a break, but I need to stay at my computer, I try to post a helpful link on Twitter, or listen to a short French news clip, so that the good habit crowds out the bad habit. And by the time I finish the tweet or the news clip, I'm no longer even thinking about the lure of the celebrity gossip website instead of just trying to avoid it. Tip 2, focus on what is definitely going to happen, not what might or might not happen. This one is from the coach of a training program that I did to run a marathon a few years ago. So a couple of weeks before the race, I was sort of venting to the coach about all of my worries. What if it rains on the day of the race? What if it's really hot? What if it's super windy? What if I get blisters? What if I can't sleep the night before? And the coach, who was a much wiser person than I am, said, any of those things might happen, or none of them might happen. And then he said to me, but what's definitely going to happen on the race day? And I just sort of looked back at him with a blank stare. And he said, you are definitely going to have to run 26.2 miles. So let's focus on that, doing what you need to do to be able to run that distance. And I think about that a lot in my work life. Like in the past couple of years, I've branched out into translating books, and I love it. But there is a lot of associated stress. What if the author doesn't like the translation? What if the publisher's proofreader changes the translation in a way that I don't agree with? What if no one buys it? What if it gets a horrible review? And like the running coach said, any of those things might happen, or none of them might happen. But you know what's definitely going to happen? The deadline is going to come, and the translation is going to be due. So I better stop worrying about those things and get cracking and translate the book. Tip 3, sometimes all you need to do is stick with what you're doing. I found this both from learning a new musical instrument and from riding my bike over many high mountain passes in Europe. Sometimes there isn't anything you need to do differently. There's not something you need to figure out. You just need to keep doing what you're doing for as long as it takes to get the outcome you want. So for example, the other day I was talking to my lute teacher and I said, okay, if I wanted to go really crazy and go back to music school at some point, what should I be doing now? And she said, exactly what you are doing, practicing, taking lessons, but do it every day for 5 more years. And when a couple of summers ago, we were on a bike trip in Italy and the weather was just horrific, pouring rain and so cold I could see my breath. And it actually helped me to think there isn't anything to do except what I'm doing. Just turn the cranks and the top of the pass will come into view at some point, and it did. And in our work lives, especially when we're starting out as freelancers or we're delving into a new facet of freelancing, like me exploring book translation, it's not that there's something different or magical or innovative that we need to be doing. We just need to keep at it steadily for a long period of time. So there you go. Crowd out the bad habits with good ones. Focus on what's definitely going to happen, not what might or might not happen. And sometimes you have to just keep pedaling. So now over to you. What are your best non-work tips that have helped you in your work life? Tell us in the comments, and I will be back in 2 weeks with episode 6, where we're going to talk about how to be a better freelancing parent and or spouse/partner. So I'll talk to you then, and don't forget to stay in the balance.